Hi, I'm life coach Sean Griffiths, and I'm going to, in a minute, talk about relationships. And relationships are probably the most important thing that I coach on because we have relationships with other people, with other things, and with the whole world. And in fact, we have one relationship, which is probably the most important relationship of all, which we don't even recognize we have. If you do enjoy it, please do click like and subscribe. I'm going to talk to you today about relationships. I'm going to go through my trash story, your story, what relationships are, how I changed my story, and how you might choose to change your story to serve you better if you choose. And it would be very useful if you have somewhere to jot down a note or two, a couple of words and two numbers. But before I start, I just want to mention a few days ago, I was on a lovely long summer hike in the New Forest in the south of the UK. I was chatting to my great friend Jackie, but as usual, I seem to be the only one doing all the talking. And later, this got me thinking about relationships and what is a relationship. I'll explain later why I mentioned this walk and why it's so important. But now to my presentation. First of all, for me, my story. A little argument I have with my partner, Corinne, something that really used to niggle and annoy me about Corinne. She would get the trash bags from under the kitchen sink and carry them all the way to the internal door of the garage. And then, this used to so bug me, she'd leave them there to move them into the main big trash bins inside the garage later. I just didn't get it. I started to think I just don't get her. She never finishes a job. I certainly told her what I thought, so we would end up in an argument every time. I started to make it mean she didn't love me because she wouldn't do the sensible thing. Now, your story. I want to do an experiment. Think about something in one of your relationships that you find challenging, small or large. Just have a think. You may need to stop the video for a moment as we go along if you need more time. And then from that situation you're thinking of, what is the one word feeling coming up in that situation? Have a think. And if you can write that one word down. And what is the overriding thought you're having? Just one sentence which encapsulates why you're feeling that way. So let's take a measurement, the strength of feelings about the situation. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is no issue for you in this story, to 10, where the result from the relationship and the situation isn't what you like at all, where are you? And then write that number down. Okay, so on with the session. What relationships are? Okay, let's look at your relationship with that other person. And this may seem a little existential and meta to start with, but bear with me. This is the core of what I'm about to talk about. You don't really have a relationship with that other person. Your thoughts are having a relationship with their thoughts. And from those thoughts comes feelings of love, hate, indifference, like or dislike. If you have have amazing thoughts about that person, then you're going to have an amazing relationship with them. If they have super amazing thoughts about you, they're going to have a super amazing relationship with you. This is why you can have two people. One of them thinks the relationship is amazing and the other thinks it's terrible. The relationship is your thoughts, and each person has different thoughts. Since becoming a life coach, I now know that my relationship with someone else is actually my thoughts about them. I now realize in my trash story, I thought I had a partner problem, but now I recognize I had a thought problem. Is that true about your relationship? Now, your relationships don't stop when someone isn't there. Or you may have a relationship with someone you've never even met. You may have a relationship with an author. And you can still have relationships with someone even if they've passed away, because you still have thoughts about them. Let's take you back to my first comments in Jackie from the walk in the New Forest and why I mentioned it. Jackie passed away 10 years and 2 months ago. I was with her when she passed, and I've never stopped talking to her since. And having thoughts about her, I still have a relationship with her. And it's my choice what I feel about that relationship, because it's my choice what I think about her. I often feel sad, but I feel that the sadness honors her memory and my relationship with a wonderful person I never forget. And I share this with you now to show that relationships are our thoughts and beliefs about the other person. They're not linked to what the other person does or says. My relationship with Jackie has nothing to do with any action she's taken or anything she's said. Your relationship with your partner or your children or your in-laws or your sister or brother, it's all your thoughts and beliefs about them. It's nothing to do with what they do or their actions. Whatever your mother-in-law says, whatever your partner does, however your children act, our relationship with them is just our thoughts and beliefs about them. They have no way to hurt us emotionally or make us feel a certain way or guilt us or even make us feel love. We create the feelings from things we're thinking inside our minds about them. They can't inject us with love or guilt to give us those feelings. And now to the most important relationship of all, and one you often don't even recognize you have, the relationship with yourself. It's just the thoughts and beliefs you have about you. It's not what you do or don't do, it's what you make it mean. It's your thoughts about you, your thoughts about your actions, your thoughts about your past. You think your thoughts are full-blown facts and truths. I'm not attractive. I'm not good in social situations. I'm a terrible person. As you get to decide whatever you want about your partner or relation, you get to decide whatever you believe about you. I'm amazing. I'm going to be the best version of myself possible. This is where a life coach can help. We can open up awareness of how you're thinking about yourself, and then you can start to have an intentional relationship with yourself. And your mind often goes to the negative. It's programmed that way, a fascinating subject to discuss another time. You often pick a little at random what you believe about yourself, and most times these thoughts are inaccurate or even plain wrong. However, with watching your mind and practice and thoughtfulness and effort, you get to choose what you think of you. This is totally within your power and without changing anything in the world around us. Now, back to retrashing my story. I've now let go of my idea that there is a rule for how my partner should deal with the trash. She's an adult and gets to do things the way she wants. It's all just my opinion, and she gets to do whatever she wants, which is great because she will do whatever she wants anyway, while I end up with high blood pressure for no real reason. Before, I was making it mean something about her and her love for me, and how I don't make it mean anything about our relationship anymore. So back to your story. Now think about your story, that situation at the beginning. Think about the feeling and thought you had. Now, how do you want to feel about this person in this situation? And just to mention, you may choose it's exactly the feeling you wanted and you don't want to change. You may decide your thought is fully valid, and that is completely valid and up to you. However, just see that there is a choice. It's your choice. We sometimes think it just is. And we miss that there is an opportunity to consciously choose how we want to think about the person and so feel, and in fact, our relationship with them. We can repack that story and change it and put it into your suitcase of all those thoughts and stories you've carried along through the years, maybe a little bit lighter. If you want to feel differently, if you want to change the relationship, you just have to change the way you think about them. Now, think about what you could think so that you feel that feeling you want about the person in that situation. It's a challenge for you, maybe an experiment. If you want to swap that thought out, just have a think. Think in a rainbows and daisies world, what consciously chosen thought might you think about that person instead? Something that serves you better. So have a think and answer the two questions. What's that feeling you want about that relationship? And what would you be thinking to feel that way? And write those answers down. Again, stop the video if you feel you'd like time. And so to a final experimental measurement, the 1 to 10 again, thinking about that situation and feeling you had at the beginning, the story you were thinking of, do you now think there's a possibility to change the way you think about this situation to help you with this situation or ones like it in the future? How do you feel now about the situation if it came up in the future? On a scale of 1 to 10, what are the strength of feelings coming up about it now? As before, 1 is no problem and 10, it's still a real problem. Now, compare this number with the first number you wrote down earlier. If it's the same, no problem. However, if it's gone down just 1 number, that's quite a change after just 8 minutes. Now, finally, I'll end as I started with Jackie, the story I tell myself, my beliefs and thoughts about Jackie, the relationship I have with her. When I think back to when we got married 18 years ago now, my memories are all about brightness and fun and excitement. I still have that. I could choose to think about the chemo ward in the hospital, the stress, or the times we argued. However, what do I choose to bring to the fore in my relationship with her now? All the great things. I choose what our relationship is by choosing my thoughts about my fun, loving, laughing, full of life friend. Now, I'd love to help you explore your thoughts and feelings you have about others and yourself. Together, we can open up awareness of how you're thinking about others and yourself, and then you can start to have a more intentional relationship. If you'd like someone to help you explore, then just book a one-on-one mini session with me. Thanks for listening, and please do hit like and subscribe and share it with other people. Thank you.